family. My name is Vicki Dillard for African Diaspora News Channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. As you come in, be sure to give us a big thumbs up and share the broadcast. That way others will know that we're here. Thank you so very much, family. Now, and many of you all by now know that Donald Trump has been selected as the new, elected as the new president of the United States. Freudian slip there. Selected versus elected. Anywho, and his attorney general nominee, his pick, his choice for confirmation, pending confirmation, is U.S. Representative Matt Gaetz. Now, this headline says Trump is calling senators directly to lobby for Gaetz AG confirmation as House Republicans weigh burying ethics report on him. So for those of you that may or may not know, Matt Gaetz has been under ethics investigation for quite some time. This piece talks about the fact that Trump, is said, is doubling down on efforts to ensure that former Representative Matt Gaetz is confirmed as Attorney General, calling some senators directly to discuss the Florida Republican and ask for their support. Two sources familiar with the outreach told CNN. It goes on to say, and I'm skipping down here, that Trump allies have discussed how to use what they call the Federal Vacancies Reform Act to put Gaetz in place, which would potentially allow him to temporarily make Gaetz head of the Department of Justice in a, quote, acting capacity for an extended period of time. Family, the interesting thing about this is that many Republicans, and I'm quoting now, at this point, House Republicans say the report is not ready, this ethics report, for public release, which Democrats view as an attempt to bury the findings. It says a growing number of GOP senators say the House report is essential to vetting a nominee for a critical post, setting up a potential clash between two chambers. So the House is the lower congressional group, and then the Senate is the higher part of Congress, which is made up of 50 senators. Each state gets 2. Yes. And so they're the ones that are really also essential in confirmations. Just so you know, for those that are watching us around the world, it says that Trump's insistence on the controversial nominee has, as CNN previously reported, drawn warnings from allies and lawmakers who caution that Gaetz face an uphill climb. Now, for those of you that don't know, he faces an uphill climb to secure 51 votes needed for Senate approval, just FYI. So this is important for us to notate, dear family. Now, for those of you that may or may not know, it says that his selection for this position is complicated by an existing House ethics probe into allegations of misconduct, including sexual misconduct and illicit drug use. And family, some of that includes a minor, a child. I want you to watch this brief clip, though, that further complicates his relationship to the global Black family. Watch this.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to warn this body of the deteriorating conditions in the African country of Niger and to give rise to the concern of service members and contractors. More than 1,000 of them right now are functionally being held hostage in Niger. They are being used as pawns during a negotiation that has left America at the bended knee of third world criminals and thugs as our troops.
Okay, family, that clip that you just saw is obviously longer than the clip, but the context of it includes attacks on the Sahel leadership. Yes. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso in particular. So he's talking about what the United States call the junta leadership. Of course, we know that these are the military leaders and current. And for example, we know for President, we know him as Captain Traore, but also officially and formally what President Traore. Yes, that the United States of America, even on both sides, both Republican and Democrats, they both believe in white supremacists, imperialists, maintaining the American empire. Yes. Some of you may or may not know that a whole lot of white supremacists and national security and military leadership pushed for Kamala Harris. One of the ones that pushed for her, Spencer, he's a well-known white supremacist. He specifically said he wants Kamala Harris because he wanted Kamala Harris because she will be able to maintain the American empire. He called it an American empire. As a U.S. citizen, he called it the American empire, and he said that Trump would just be more chaotic. So both sides are committed to, based on their record, to maintaining white supremacy and white supremacist, white supremacist hegemony This is important to note, but one is just more chaotic than the other. Now, this is absolutely outrageous that some time back he referred to such African leaders as third world thugs and third world criminals. This gets you the mindset of where the United States leadership stands, and this is who Trump's pick is. And this is who, based on these reports that I just read, he's committed to pushing through to get this nomination. Notwithstanding this critical report and investigation that's into him now and other such things. What does that tell you? Also, some of his other controversial picks are also committed to war around the world. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this, but this speaks volumes about Donald Trump's leadership. And it is a warning to our African family that even though there is some agreement, for example, on the LGBTQ stance based on where Trump's administration stand versus Biden and the agenda they were pushing on the continent, that makes sense, of course. And we're in agreement with you on that. But don't miss the forest for the trees and don't let them get away with this other side. And this all of a sudden they have an interest there when they know that they're just trying to compete with Russia and China and keep a foothold on the African continent for strategic purposes. Not only their resources, not only their minerals, yes, not only items that you can only get on the continent that's critical to technological advancement, but also don't forget the United States has its most expensive $100 million drone base that was in that region that they're very upset about. And it was the United States that rebuffed eviction demands initially from these very countries, specifically and particularly Niger. And a whistleblower, a high-level military whistleblower, filed a complaint saying that the U.S. Embassy was lying about its favorable relationship that it had with the Sahel area, specifically Niger. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it. I'm going to be exposing some of the dark forces that's at work in the world, that's involved in both the Trump campaign, Kamala Harris campaign, and that's operating through these United States of America. These are diabolical occult forces that you may not know about. This is the kind of stuff we got to talk about offline. I'm going to be discussing that and the actual interpretation of the dry bones prophecy that's going to rise up as a divine army. Go to my website at VickiPlanet.com so that you can secure your free seat for this Sunday, November 24th. This Sunday, November 24th. Again, go to my website, VickiPlanet.com. That's VICKI Planet.com. And be sure to comment below and share the broadcast. I can't wait to see you again.